Coming soon to own on video and DVD.
Okay, hello and welcome, and thank you so much for tuning in to the very first episode that's airing on the Win-Win Women Network of the Art Heals Earth show. Of course, I have my amazing, beautiful, talented, hilarious, slightly delusional friends with me here, and I'm so grateful for that. I love being surrounded by such amazing women, and we invite you all to join us. Moving forward, we have so many community things that we do together. We have amazing friendships, and this season of Art Heals Earth is going to be something really exceptional. I'm from the bottom of my heart so grateful, and I have beautiful roses and presents that remind me of that as we celebrate my 28th birthday tomorrow. So I'm so double excited for that, and I'm so eager to be able to show you all what it is that I've been working on for the past several years. And honestly, kind of like leading up to this, my entire life has been a culmination of preparing for launching a show like this. You'll see whenever we get started, but I've always loved being in front of the camera ever since I was a really, really little girl. And to have embarked on the journey that I have over the past few years, and to have really slowed down my trajectory and felt as though I needed to surrender to my highest purpose, I was able to experience amazing things, traveling all over the world and creating art. And so this show is going to not only document that, but also highlight and showcase some of the talent and some of the women in particular around me in partnership and in collaboration with them to tell their stories and to tell important stories of exactly why I do what I do. And I think that it's a beautiful opportunity to be able to see through a different lens all of the different walks of life. Some people live very lavishly in the Tuscan countryside, and some people live in a farm in Tobago, and some people live in a refugee camp in northern Nigeria, and some people live in Stockholm, Sweden, and some people are smack dab in the middle of Utah, and some people are in New York, and all of these beautiful places that we can traverse on this teeny tiny pale blue dot, which we all exist on together. It's a beautiful thing, and I think we forget. And so this space is our safe haven to remember that every Saturday at 9 a.m. PST. And without further ado, I want to share with you the first episode of Art Heals Earth Show. Season 1, Episode 1 is The Greatest Miracle in the World. And spoiler alert, the greatest miracle in the world, that's you.
This is the greatest miracle in the world. By Augmentino. The God Memorandum. To you. From God. Take counsel. I hear your cry. It passes through the darkness, filters through the clouds, mingles with the starlight, and finds its way to my heart on the path of a sunbeam. I have anguished. Over the cry of a hare choked in the noose of a snare, a sparrow tumbled from the nest of its mother, a child thrashing helplessly in the pond, and a son shedding his blood on a cross. Know that I hear you, also. Be at peace. Be calm. I bring thee relief for your sorrow, for I know its cause and its cure. You weep for all your childhood dreams that have vanished with the years. You weep for all your self-esteem that has been corrupted by failure. You weep for all your potential that has been bartered for security. You weep for all your individuality that has been trampled by mobs. You weep for all your talent that has been wasted through misuse. You look upon yourself with disgrace, and you turn in terror from the image you see in the pool. Who is this mockery of humanity staring back with bloodless eyes of shame? Where is the grace of your manner, the beauty of your figure, the quickness of your movement, the clarity of your mind, the brilliance of your tongue? Who stole your goods? Is the thief's identity known to you as it is to me? Once you placed your head in a pillow of grass in your father's field, and you looked up at a cathedral of clouds, and you knew that all the gold of Babylon would be yours in time. Once you read from many books, and you wrote on many tablets, convinced beyond any doubt that all the wisdom of Solomon would be equaled and surpassed by you, and the seasons would flow into years until, lo, you would reign supreme in your own Garden of Eden. Dost thou remember who implanted those plans and dreams and seeds of hope within you? You cannot. You have no memory of that moment when you first emerged from your mother's womb, and I placed my hand on your soft brow, and the secret I whispered in your ear, so small, when I bestowed my blessings upon you. Do you remember our secret? You cannot. The passing years have destroyed your recollection, for they have filled your mind with fear and doubt and anxiety and remorse and hate, and there is no room for joyful memories where these beasts habitate. Weep no more. I am with you. And this moment is the dividing line of your life. All that has gone before is like unto no more than that time you slept within your mother's womb. What is past is dead. Let the dead bury the dead. This day you return from the living dead. This day, like unto Elijah with the widow's son, I stretch myself upon thee 3 times, and you live again. This day, like unto Elisha with the Shulamite's son, I put my mouth upon your mouth, and my eyes upon your eyes, and my hands upon your hands, and your flesh is warm again. This day, like unto Jesus at the tomb of Lazarus, I command you to come forth, and you will walk from your cave of doom to begin a new life. This is your birthday. This is your new date of birth. Your first life, like unto a play of the theater, was only a rehearsal. This time the curtain is up. This time the world watches and waits to applaud. This time you will not fail. Light your candles, share your cake, pour the wine. You have been reborn. Like a butterfly from its chrysalis, you will fly. Fly as high as you wish, and neither the wasps, nor the dragonflies, nor mantids of mankind shall obstruct your mission or your search for the true riches of life. Feel my hand upon thy head. Attend to my wisdom. Let me share with you again the secret you heard at your birth and forgot. You are my greatest miracle. You are the greatest miracle in the world. Those were the first words you had ever heard. And then you cried. They all cry. You did not believe me then, and nothing has happened in the intervening years to correct your disbelief. For how could you be a miracle when you consider yourself a failure at the most menial of tasks? How can you be a miracle when you have little confidence in dealing with the most trivial of responsibilities? How can you be a miracle when you are shackled by debt and lie awake in torment over whence will come tomorrow's bread? Enough. The milk that is spilled is sour. Yet, how many prophets, how many wise men, how many poets, how many artists, how many composers, how many scientists, how many philosophers and messengers have I sent with word of your divinity, your potential for godliness, and the secrets of achievement? How did you treat them? Still, I love you, and I am with you now. Through these words, to fulfill the prophet who announced that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. I have set my hand again. This is the second time. You are my remnant. It is of no avail to ask. Haven't you known? Haven't you heard? Hasn't it been told to you from the beginning? Haven't you understood from the foundations of the earth? You have not known. And you have not heard, you have not understood. You have been told that you are a divinity in disguise, a god playing a fool. You have been told that you are a special piece of work, noble in reason, infinite in faculties, express and admirable in form, and moving like an angel in action, like a god in apprehension. You have been told that you are the salt of the earth. You were given the secret even of moving mountains, of performing the impossible. You believed. No one. You burned your map to happiness. You abandoned your claim to peace of mind. You snuffed out the candles that had been placed along your destined path of glory, and then you stumbled, lost, and frightened in the darkness of futility and self-pity until you fell into a hell of your own creation. Then you cried, and you beat your breast, and cursed the luck that had befallen you. You refused to accept the consequences of your own petty thoughts and lazy deeds. And you searched for a scapegoat on which to blame your failures. How quickly you found one! You blamed me! You cried that your handicaps, your mediocrity, your lack of opportunity, your failures were the will of God. You were wrong. Let us take inventory. Let us first call a roll of your handicaps for how can I ask you to build a new life, lest you have the tools? Are you blind? Does the sun rise and fall without your witness? No. You can see. And the 100 million receptors I have placed in your eyes enable you to enjoy the magic of a leaf, a snowflake, a pond, an eagle, a child, a cloud, a star, a rose, a rainbow, and the look of love. Count one blessing. Are you deaf? Can a baby laugh or cry without your attention? No. You can hear, and the 24,000 fibers I have built in each of your ears vibrate to the winds and the trees and the tides on the rocks, the majesty of an opera, a robin's plea, children at play, and the words, I love you. Count another blessing. Are you mute? Do your lips move and bring forth only spittle? No, you can speak, as can no other of my creatures, and your words can calm the angry, uplift the despondent, goad the quitter, cheer the unhappy, warm the lonely, praise the worthy, encourage the defeated, teach the ignorant, and say, I love you. Count another blessing. Are you paralyzed? Does your helpless form despoil the land? No, you can move. You are not a tree condemned to a small plot while the wind in the world abuses you. You can stretch and run and dance and work, for within you I have designed 500 muscles, 200 bones, and 7 miles of nerve fiber, all synchronized by me to do your bidding. Count another blessing. Are you unloved and unloving? Does loneliness engulf you night and day? No, no more. For now you know love's secret. That to receive love, it must be given, with no thought of its return. To love for fulfillment, satisfaction, or pride is no love. Love is a gift on which no return is demanded. Now you know that to love unselfishly is its own reward. And even should you love and have it not be returned, it is not lost. For love, not reciprocated, will flow back to you and soften and purify your heart. Count another blessing. Count twice. Is your heart stricken? Does it leak and strain to maintain your life? No. Your heart's strong. Touch your chest and feel its rhythm, pulsating hour after hour, day and night, 36 million beats each year after year, asleep or awake, pumping your blood through more than 60,000 miles of veins, arteries, and tubing, pumping more than 600,000 gallons each year. Man has never created such a machine. Count another blessing. Are you diseased of skin? Do people turn and hard when you approach? No, your skin is clear and a marvel of creation, needing only that you tend it with soap and oil and brush and care. In time, all steels will tarnish and rust, but not your skin.
Eventually, the strongest of metals will wear with use, but not that layer that I have constructed around you. Constantly, it renews itself. Old cells replaced by the new, just as the old you is now replaced by the new. Count another blessing. Are your lungs befouled? Does the breath of life struggle to enter your body? No. Your portholes to life support you even in the vilest of environments of your own making. And they labor always to filter life-giving oxygen through 600 million pockets of folded flesh while they rid your body of gaseous wastes. Count another blessing. Is your blood poisoned? Is it diluted with water and pus? No. Within your 5 quarts of blood are 22 trillion blood cells, and within each cell are millions of molecules. And within each molecule is an atom oscillating at more than 10 million times each second. Each second, 2 million of your blood cells die to be replaced by 2 million more in a resurrection that has continued since your first birth. As it has always been inside, so now it is on your outside. Count another blessing. Are you feeble of mind? Can you no longer think for yourself? No. Your brain is the most complex structure in the universe. I know. Within its 3 pounds are 13 billion nerve cells, more than 3 times as many cells as there are people on your earth. To help you, file away every perception, every sound, every taste, every smell. Every action you have experienced since the day of your birth, I have implanted within your cells more than 100,000 billion protein molecules. Every incident in your life is there waiting, only your recall. And to assist your brain in the control of your body, I have dispersed throughout your form 4 million pain-sensitive structures, 500,000 touch detectors, and more than 200,000 temperature detectors. No nation's gold is better protected than you. None of your ancient wonders are greater than you. You are my finest creation. Within you is enough atomic energy to destroy any of the world's greatest cities and rebuild it. Are you poor? Is there no gold or silver in your purse? No. You are rich. Together, we have just counted your wealth. Study the list. Count them again. Tally your assets. Why have you betrayed yourself? Why have you cried that all the blessings of humanity were removed from you? Why did you deceive yourself that you were powerless to change your life? Are you without talent, senses, abilities, pleasures, instincts, sensations, and pride? Are you without hope? Why do you cringe in the shadows, a giant defeated, awaiting only sympathetic transport into the welcome void and dampness of hell? You have so much. Your blessings overflow your cup, and you have been unmindful of them. Like a child, spoiled in luxury, since I have bestowed them upon you with generosity and regularity. Answer me. Answer yourself. What rich man, old and sick, feeble and helpless, would not exchange all the gold in his vault for the blessings you have treated so lightly? Know then the first secret to happiness and success that you possess even now. Every blessing necessary to achieve great glory. They are your treasure, your tools with which to build, starting today, the foundation for a new and better life. Therefore, I say unto you, count your blessings, and know that you already are my greatest creation. This is the first law you must obey in order to perform the greatest miracle in the world, the return of your humanity from living death. And be grateful for your lessons learned in poverty. For he is not poor who is little, only he that desires much. And true security is not in the things that one has, but in the things one can do without. Where are the handicaps that produce your failures? They existed only in your mind. Count your blessings. And the second law is like unto the first. Proclaim your rarity. You had condemned yourself into a potter's field. And there you lie, unable to forgive your own failure, destroying yourself with self-hate, self-incrimination, and revulsion at your crimes against yourself and others. Are you not perplexed? Do you not wonder why I am able to forgive? all of your failures, all your transgressions, your pitiful demeanor, when you cannot forgive yourself. I address you now for 3 reasons. You need me. You are not one of a herd heading for destruction in a gray mass of mediocrity. And you are a great rarity. Consider a painting by Rembrandt, or a bronze by Degas, or a violin by Stradivarius, or a play by Shakespeare. They have great value for 2 reasons. Their creators were masters, and they are few in number. Yet there are more than one of each of those. On that reasoning, you are the most valuable treasure on the face of the earth. You know who created you. And there is only one of you. Never, in all the 70 billion humans who have walked this planet since the beginning of time, has there been anyone exactly like you. Never, until the end of time, will there be another such as you. You have shown no knowledge or appreciation of your uniqueness. Yet, you are the rarest thing in the world. From your father, in his moment of supreme love, flowed countless seeds of love, more than 400 million in number, all of them, as they swam within your mother, gave up the ghost and died, all except one, you. You alone persevered, within the loving warmth of your mother's body, preserved, searching for your other half, a single cell from your mother, so small, so small, that more than 22 million would be necessary to fill an acorn shell. Yet, despite impossible odds in that vast ocean of darkness and disaster, you persevered, found that infinitesimal cell, joined with it, and began a new life. Your life. You arrived, bringing with you, as does every child, the message that I was not yet discouraged of man. 2 cells, now united in a miracle. 2 cells, each containing 23 chromosomes, and within each chromosome, hundreds of genes, which would govern every characteristic about you, from the color of your eyes to the charm of your manner to the size of your brain. With all the combinations at my command, beginning with that single sperm from your father's 400 million, through the hundreds of genes in each of the chromosomes from your mother and father, I could have created 300,000 billion humans, each different from one another. But who did I bring forth? You, one of a kind, rarest of the rare, a priceless treasure, possessed of qualities in mind and speech and movement and appearance and action as no other who has ever lived, lives, or shall live. Why have you valued yourself in pennies when you are worth a king's ransom? Why did you listen to those who demeaned you? And far worse, why did you believe them? Take counsel. No longer hide your verity in the dark. Bring it forth. Show the world. Strive not to walk as your brother walks, nor talk as your leader talks, nor labor as do the mediocre. Never do as another. Never imitate. For how do you know that you may not imitate evil? And he who imitates evil always goes beyond the example set, while he who imitates what is good always falls short. Imitate no one. Be yourself. Show your rarity to the world, and they will shower you with gold. This, then, is the second law. Proclaim your rarity. And now you have received 2 laws. Count your blessings. Proclaim your rarity. You have no handicaps. You are not mediocre. You nod. You force a smile. You admit to yourself deception. What of your next complaint? Opportunity never seeks thee? Take counsel, and it shall come to pass. For now I give you the law of success in every venture. Many centuries ago, this law was given to your forefathers from the top of a mountain. Some heeded the law, and lo, their life was filled with the fruits of happiness, accomplishment, gold, and peace of mind. Most listened not, for they sought magic means, devious routes, or waited for the devil, called luck, to deliver them the riches of life. They waited in vain, just as you waited. And then they wept, as you wept, blaming their lack of fortune on my will. The law is simple. Young or old, pauper or king, white or black, male or female, all can use the secret to their advantage. For all the rules and speeches and scriptures of success and how to attain it, only one method has ever failed. Whomsoever shall compel ye to go with him 1 mile, go with him 2. This then is the third law. The secret that will produce riches and acclaim beyond your dreams. Go another mile. The only certain means of success is to render more and better service than expected of you, no matter what your task may be. That is a habit followed by all the successful people since the beginning of time. Therefore, I saith, the surest way to doom yourself of mediocrity is to perform only the work for which you are paid. Think not ye are being cheated if you deliver more than the silver you receive, for there is a pendulum to all life, and the sweat you deliver, if not rewarded today, will swing back tomorrow tenfold. The mediocre never goes another mile. For why should he cheat himself, he thinks, but you're not mediocre. To go another mile, it's a privilege that you must appropriate by your own initiative. You cannot and you must not avoid it. Neglect it. Do only as little as the others, and the responsibility for your failure is yours alone. You can no more render service without receiving just compensation than you can withhold the rendering of it without suffering the loss of reward. Cause and effect, means and ends, seed and fruit. These cannot be separated. The effect already blooms in the cause. The end pre-exists in the means, and the fruit is always in the seed. Go another mile. Concern yourself not should you serve an ungrateful master. Serve him more, and instead of him, let it be me who is in your debt, for then you will know that every minute, every stroke of extra service will be repaid. And worry not, should your reward not come soon, for the longer that payment is withheld, the better for you. And compound interest on compound interest is the law's greatest benefit. You cannot command success, you can only deserve it. And now, you know the greatest secret necessary in order to merit its rare reward. Go another mile. Where is the field whence you cried? There was no opportunity. Look around thee. See where only yesterday you wallowed in the refuse of self-pity, and now you walk tall on a carpet of gold. Nothing has changed except you. But you are everything. You are my greatest miracle. You are the greatest miracle in the world. And now the laws of happiness and success are 3. Count your blessings. Proclaim your rarity. Go another mile. Be patient with your progress. To count your blessings with gratitude, to proclaim your rarity with pride, to go an extra mile and then another, these acts are not accomplished in the blinking of an eye. Yet, that which you acquire with the most difficulty, you retain the longest. As those who have earned a fortune are more careful of it than those by whom it was inherited. And fear not, as you enter your new life, every noble acquisition is attended with its risks. He who fears to encounter the one must not expect to obtain the other. Now, you know you are a miracle, and there is no fear in a miracle. Be proud. You are not the momentary whim of a careless creator experimenting in the laboratory of life. You are not a slave of forces that you cannot comprehend. You are a free manifestation of no force but mine, of no love but mine. You are made with a purpose. Feel my hand. Hear my word. You need me. And I need you. We have a world to rebuild. And if it requireth a miracle, what is that to us? We are both miracles. And now we have each other. Never have I lost faith in you since that day when I first spun you from a giant wave and tossed you helplessly on the sands as you measure time. That was more than 500 million years ago. There were many models, many shapes, many sizes, before I reached perfection in you more than 30,000 years ago. I have made no further effort to improve on you all of these years. For how could one improve on a miracle? You were a marvel to behold, and I was pleased. I gave you this world and dominion over it. Then, to enable you to reach your full potential, I placed my hand upon you once more, and I endowed you with the powers unknown to any other creature in the universe, even unto this day. I gave you the power to think. I gave you the power to love. I gave you the power to will. I gave you the power to love, the power to imagine. I gave you the power to create. I gave you the power to plan. I gave you the power to speak. I gave you the power to pray. My pride in you knew no bounds. You were my ultimate creation, my greatest miracle. A complete living being. One you can adjust to any climate, any hardship, any challenge. One who can manage his own destiny without any interference from me. One who can translate a sensation or a perception, not by instinct, but by thought and deliberation, into whatever action is best for himself and all of humanity. Thus, we come to the fourth law of success and happiness. For I give you one more power. Power so great that not even my angels possess it. I gave you the power to choose. With this gift, I placed you even above my angels. For angels are not free to choose sin. I gave you complete control over your destiny. I told you to determine for yourself your own nature in accordance with your own free will. Neither heavenly nor earthly in nature. You were free to fashion in whatever form you preferred. You had the power to choose to degenerate into the lowest forms of life, but you also had the power, out of your soul's judgment, to be reborn into the highest forms, which are divine. I have never withdrawn your great power, the power to choose. What have you done with this tremendous force? Look at yourself! Think of the choices that you have made in your life and recall now those bitter moments when you would fall to your knees if only you had the opportunity to choose again. What is past is past. And now you know the fourth great law of happiness and success. Use wisely your power of choice. Choose to love rather than hate. Choose to laugh rather than cry. Choose to create rather than destroy. Choose to persevere rather than quit. Choose to praise rather than gossip. Choose to heal rather than wound. Choose to give rather than steal. Choose to act rather than procrastinate. Choose to grow rather than rot. Choose to pray rather than curse. Choose to live rather than die. Now you know that all of your misfortunes were not my will. For all power was vested in you, and the accumulation of deeds and thoughts which placed you on the refuse of humanity were your doing, not mine. My gifts of power were too large for your small nature. Now you have grown tall and wise, and the fruits of the land will be yours. You are more than a human being. You are a human becoming. You are capable of great wonders. Your potential is unlimited. Who else among my creatures has mastered fire? Who else among my creatures has conquered gravity, has pierced the heavens, has conquered disease and pestilence and drought? Never demean yourself again. Never settle for the crumbs of life. Never hide your talents from this day hence. Remember the child who says, "When I am big boy." But what is that? For the big boy says, "When I am a grown-up." And then the grown-up, he says, "When I am wed." And to be wed, what is that after all? The thought then changes to, "When I retire." And then retirement comes and he looks back over the landscape traverse. A cold wind sweeps over it. And somehow he has missed it all. And it's gone. So enjoy this day, today, and tomorrow. You have performed the greatest miracle in the world. You have returned from a living death. You will feel self-pity no more, and each day you will be challenged and enjoyed. You have been born again. But just as before, you can choose failure and despair, or success and happiness. The choice is yours. The choice is exclusively yours. I can only watch, as before, in pride or sorrow. Remember then the 4 laws of happiness and success. Count your blessings. Proclaim your rarity. Go another mile. And use wisely your power of choice. And one more to fulfill the other four. Do all things with love. Love for yourself. Love for all others. And love for me. Wipe away your tears. Reach out. Grasp my hand. And stand straight. Let me cut the grave cloth that bound you. This day, you have been notified. You are the greatest miracle in the world.
You talking all that shit, now come on, you gon' have to back it up. If I get too high now, sugar, come on, I might never come down, I might never come down. Let me get down, come on, you might not ever come down. No, let me get down, you might not ever come down. No, wanna get down, you might never ever come down. It took too long to get this high off the ground. Don't run, just stay away.
Action. We got a hot mic. Hey everybody. Thank you for watching this episode of Art Heals Earth. Art is the aligned resonant truth. If you like what we saw today, check out our website, arthealsearth.com. There's cool art, music, and other things to explore, like our Etsy shop. Subscribe to our newsletter and follow us on social media at Art Heals Earth. We love you. Bye. Cut. And see. That's a wrap. To the gate.
So there you have it. Art Heals Earth. Yes, the baby's my heart. I see you in the chat. Yeah, they're so cute and so sweet when they want to be. My goodness. You know, it's always interesting to me because as you know, on the team, the ladies who are with me here right now, and some of the people watching this, I've expressed this particular episode is very different than the rest of season 1. And I really wanted to take time to think about how I wanted to present each episode to everybody. And I was really not sure which one I was going to start with, even though I had this inkling from the very beginning that I should begin the season by setting the tone with the greatest miracle in the world, the God Memorandum, the excerpt by Og Mandino, and the book, The Greatest Miracle in the World. And stylistically speaking, it is very different. It is the only episode that you'll see this season that I'm 100% reading someone else's work, and the only episode that is as long in duration as this episode. The others are a little bit shorter, but I feel like, and I felt, and I continue to feel like it was really important to teach from this book to start with. Number one, this book was a very pivotal moment for me when I read it several months ago. It teaches something that I think if we all collectively embodied would make the world a way better place. And it also starts with a challenge. In the book, actually, the writer, Og Mandino, the author, is sort of like the main character as well. So it's both fiction and nonfiction, this book. In the book, he's telling a story of a spiritual guide, someone very, very profound in his life, who is inevitably actually perhaps even a figment of his imagination. We don't really fully know. But in that relationship, and as it developed, there were all these amazing synchronicities and all of these really remarkable symbiotic manifestations, things that whenever you traverse on a similar path actually do begin to present themselves within your life. For example, a lot of the women in my life, I feel very similarly to the way that the author of this book felt to the character which I'm referring. And that character left him behind a piece of writing. in the book. And he added that piece of writing as the author's friend had written it. Not to be confusing. It's, yeah, if you read it, you'll understand. That section was something that he had left for his friend, the author, Augmendino, to be able to understand exactly what it was to be what he referred to himself as a rag picker. A rag picker meaning not just a person who sifts through the garbage and takes it in a shopping cart and keeps it, living on the street, like we might think of when we hear the word rag picker. He called himself the greatest, or Og called him as his friend, the greatest rag picker of all time, the greatest rag picker in the world. And the reason why he said that is because as a rag picker, he saw himself as looking at all of the people of the world as picking those rags. He was taking the lost souls and helping guide them to a purpose in life by reminding them that they are the greatest miracle in the world. He says that people are walking their living death. And I think whenever we look around at life and the people that we encounter, there's truth in that. A lot of us, a lot of the people walking on this plane, on this teeny tiny pale blue dot, are profoundly lost. And it's actually very sad. And the challenge that the author poses through his friend in the book is to actually reflect on the teachings of this reading by reading that section, the God Memorandum, every day before bed for 100 days and not telling a soul. That really changed my life. Putting into practice what is taught, especially even in just that section, it sincerely changed my life for the best. And all of my relationships have improved since then. And I feel much deeper purpose. I already was on a path of finding much deeper purpose within myself after the several years of what I document through the rest of this series, and you see it very directly. And yet that one writing really was pivotal in supporting them. And it's funny because I always replay it in my mind. I do my best to listen to it or at least think about it every single day before bed as it's challenged for 100 days as it's challenged. And I think it's interesting, and I'll invite my friends to unmute at whatever point, if you feel like you want to share, and it's fine if you don't. But I will say that as I reflect on those principles that are taught there are lines of what is written that always stick out to me, and I find myself quoting them in conversation without people necessarily even knowing. And I think that that's the power of really meditating on it for 100 days before you actually begin to share the message with other people, because once you've absorbed it to that degree, you can truly embody it. And once you say it with conviction, and you say it in a way that is not rehearsed, it's known, it's felt, and it's palpable. And there's a difference, and energy can be felt in that way. There are several lines that stick out to me, and I actually wrote a couple down. I always remember, you are the greatest miracle in the world. And if it requireth a miracle of us, what is that to us? I think that's very deep. Like, we say things so cavalier, but what does it actually mean? And what might it require of us if we are a miracle, which we are? What might that require of us? Another one is, you cannot demand success. You can only deserve it. That's so deep. Like, how many figures in the public eye or even in the household might we experience who, demand authority, demand respect? I demand that you treat me a certain way. But do they deserve it? Have they earned it? And we get to ask ourselves the same question. So many people complain about not being further along of where they are, but don't take the responsibility and recognizing that success is earned, it's deserved. And the 4 rules that he poses here, I think it's interesting because I always reflect on them, and yet I sometimes forget. I always have trouble remembering what the last one is, and I think that's ironic because every time I listen to him, like, what is it? What is it? I know the first 3. And so that shows me I still have work to do. Those rules are: 1, count your blessings; 2, proclaim your rarity; 3, go another mile. And the 4th one that I tend to forget, which is ironic to me, is the power of choice. We all have agency in this life. We have a power of choice. And one of my favorite parts of that video, and also other books which I have read, for example, it's written in the 5th Agreement as well, which I'm sure we'll have an episode with the lessons about that writing too, by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. The 5th Agreement and this book both say a fundamental truth, which is we've been given the power of choice as humans on the planet. We have free will, a gift not given to even the angels. We're the only creature in our consciousness that has the power of choice to the degree which we have it. And that's such a privilege and a gift, and we forget about it all the time. We do ourselves a disservice by not embodying our power of choice. And we actually refrain from making the world a better place because we succumb to a powerlessness that is feign. It is farce. It's not real. We have power of choice. And once we choose to embody that, that's whenever we are able to actually step into that power. And so those are some of the things that that in reflection really resonated with me. In the last like 9 minutes here, I would love if Ida or if Ani or anyone else wants to, tune in and say anything, or tune in, wants to chime in and say anything, you're welcome to. And I also want to say I'm just grateful for both of you, for all of you, listening to this, watching this. I'm especially grateful for my team. So I'm going to take a minute to, communicate that again, because the clarity that has come from this creative process wouldn't be here if I didn't have that support. And that's what we're looking to create in the world, a very intimate and safe container to be free creatively and to collaborate with one another. So I'm really grateful, like really grateful for that. And I don't think words can express it enough. I'm a happy lady because of it. And even when I'm not happy, I'm grateful and I feel protected and I feel safe. And I think that's more than most can say, and that's actually really kind of sad because it's so fundamental. It's so basic. To be able to build off of that is like what needs to be done. And that was my prayer. And I asked for God, for the ultimate creator, to bless me in it, make it easy. And that's exactly what's happened. So I'm grateful for that too.
Hi.
Beautiful.
Hi. I wanted to chime in. I wanted to say thank you for the super beautiful episode. It captures me, I think, so deeply. And you've recommended that book before and it becomes so much more like important for me to read it because I can see how it has impacted you. And you carry so much wisdom that I get inspired by every day. And I'm so thankful to God because I know how grateful I am to have you in my life. And I know you are such a brilliant young woman. Like I know you'll be able to change so many lives. And being able to witness your show such a blessing. I'm so happy to be here.
You're so sweet. Thank you, Ida. I appreciate that. You know, you've been so loyal and so determined, you know, through this year of our, oh my God, don't cry. I might. Through this,
Fine, I might cry too.
I know. It's like my dad texted me this morning and, you know, told me how happy he was to be able to watch the show and that I've had a heck of a year, you know, and you've been with me like throughout that entire process. And it's true, like we've had an amazing, difficult, like freaky deaky, like hilarious, fun, exciting, and beautiful past year together. And I look at so much growth that can happen in such a short period of time and how we can challenge our belief systems, our identities, you know, how we can open ourselves up to infinite possibilities. And that is so a superpower that I think often gets overlooked and not even people just don't even know, you know, that it's a reality that you can default to creation, not consumption, to default to how can I make this happen? Not I can't do that or my limitations, you know, to default to gratitude, not dissatisfaction or complaining, or defaulting to success and not bitterness. I think we have a lot of opportunity to really relieve a lot of the tension that is existing as the constant state of the majority of the population of the planet. It's all inflammation, but the body is designed to heal itself. And so us being able to embody that through self-accountability and through these modalities of remembrance, like this book or like this show or like making art, you know, those are all ways that we can return back to ourselves and be in our essence in the world. Because I know that we're not made as the greatest miracle in all of creation with all of those cells and all of those molecules and all of those atoms that were described, you know, to be able to stretch out across the entire circumference of the planet to be living here and playing small and paying taxes and living in fear. Like, that's not why I was divinely created and not why you were either. What a gift to be able to know that and to know that so young and to be the messenger who gets to provide those reminders all of the time to people and then have them reflected back to ourselves, right? Because we are messengers, and by the meaning of the Greek word of angel, an angel is a messenger, but an angel doesn't have free will. And so we have that power of choice. We might embody that to a certain degree, but at the end of the day, we were created as human. And so we need those reminders from one another, because if we were actually, in essence, biblical angels or, you know, Quranic angels, we wouldn't need reminders from one another of that truth, because we would have no other choice but to live it. Yeah. My sister always says that I'll go on these, like, you know, like I just did for the past hour, like these, like, you know, spirit talks, and I'll just like be like, "Da, da, 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 da," and then I'll just be like, yeah. Something like, did you make yourself tired or?
You let it soak in after a while. You just you bring it out. to the collective, and then you just land.
Yeah. You know, you know. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, Ani, if you have anything you want to say, you're welcome to.
Yeah, in these last few seconds, I just wanted to say I love you and I'm grateful for you. And I love you, Ida, and I'm so passionate about what we're doing. I think that we're going to bless a lot of lives, and you specifically, Karina, are going to bless so many lives. And I'm excited to be a witness to that. And like we said earlier, we prayed to be here, and here we are, and we are enjoying every single moment. And I'm just grateful. And I'm so proud of you. And I love you.
Mm. That's so sweet.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I really, really do. I was sort of feeling a little bit, I don't know. I get caught up sometimes too in my own like stories about where I should be and how far along my life should be, but I'm able to reflect now on like where I am. And I'm so grateful for the people that I have around me where I am. And you are those women. So thank you for being those women. And thank you for everyone watching the replay of this as well. We are excited to be able to be here with you every Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's awesome on the West Coast. Okay. So we love it here. I'm looking forward to next week. Have not determined what episode we will be looking at yet, but I have a couple of ideas. So please tune in, share this, like, subscribe, comment, do all of the things that you do when you live in a matrix. And we will see you once again next week. Thank you. I love you. Remember that art is the aligned resonant truth, ART, and that art truly does heal the planet. Thank you.